there, everyone. Today is July 2nd, 2020. I'm Selena from Wisconsin, and we also have here with us.
You know who I am, the fire starter, Andre the Torch Robinson, Western New York Zone. What's up?
Nothing. I'm good. I did my homework today and reversed the narrative.
Did you? Did you?
Do I
All
get a
right,
prize?
absolutely. Now, during the show, you will be able to see these three songs that I have on Twitter, okay? BIF Circle on Twitter. All right, make sure you go check it out. Selena, what's up in world news?
We've got a couple of stories in world news today. In 10 years, Tesla has gone from public market newbie to the most valuable automaker in the world by market value. In January, Tesla became the most valuable U.S. automaker ever when its market cap hit $81.39 billion. Still, a few automakers remained ahead of Tesla until now. The company's market capitalization now stands at $208 billion, surpassing Toyota, to become the world's most valuable automaker. By the market value and standards, but Toyota's market cap is still at $202.74 billion, just trailing it. The automaker's stock price has confounded some analysts as it continues to rise and then fall, but rise again, despite a series of controversies and setbacks. However, Tesla has certainly accelerated production and deliveries. Tesla delivered 367,500 electric vehicles in 2019. That's 50% more than the previous year. The Tesla share price also appears immune to the effects, while Tesla is immune to the effects that the COVID-19 pandemic has had on the rest of the automotive industry. While even Tesla experienced COVID-19 related slowdowns as well as temporary suspension of production, investors have continued to buy and push share price higher. Tesla's share price could rise again if its second quarter delivery and production figures meet and surpass analyst expectations. Analysts polled by FactSet expected sales of 72,000 vehicles in the second quarter. Andre, are you surprised that Tesla is now the most valuable automaker?
I actually have the pleasure of working at Tesla. So shout out to the Tesla family, by the way.
Which I didn't know until right before the show.
Yep, shout out to the Tesla family. Matter of fact, I'm going to put the hat on for y'all one time. Yes, absolutely. Shout out to the Tesla family. They are phenomenal at what they do.
Also in world news, national news actually, Trump signs an order prioritizing job skills over college degree and government hiring. A college degree will no longer give Americans a leg up when seeking some jobs in the federal government. Administration officials say that the shift will allow the government to hire more inclusive work-based force based on skill instead of a person's educational level. The federal government is the nation's largest employer with 2.1 million civilian workers. Americans, what do you think this is going to allow more Americans a chance to receive a federal job?
I'm going to be honest with you. Is it going to be diverse in federal jobs? Are they going to... I got to ask the questions. Who are we hiring here?
Right.
Are we hiring just who we want to hire? Or are we hiring qualified folks? Along with the fact of hiring qualified folks, we're making sure we hire a plethora of qualified folks.
Right. There's also the fact that there have been people who have already went to college just to get that piece of paper to get these federal jobs, who have paid hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loans to get these jobs, and now they're in debt for all this money, while new people are just coming in based on, and these people who have already went to college, they could have been already, before they went to school, been qualified for the job, but they needed that paper. So now they owe all this money and they have a job, but now people can just come in with the experience and they don't have to worry about it. So are student loans going to be forgiven?
Well, it would be nice if they could defer student loans. And in fact, I would rather have deferred student loans and rent-free payments than stimulus checks.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
I mean, just for the simple fact, a couple of reasons. Number one, it alleviates the stress of having to continue to constantly worry about paying these bills. A lot of people have problems just paying bills in general, remembering when to pay bills, the whole 9 yards. That's just first and foremost. And then number two, the nagging fact that you have this chain to the back of your back that says student loans or rent. Taking that chain off right now would be phenomenal. It would be phenomenal. I think it would be a better service. It would do us as a people a better service to defer those student loans and give rent free, since technically you're in a place of refuge during a pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Now, people in the comment section are saying, have you seen the prices of Tesla? Absolutely. They are high-priced vehicles, but you pay for what you want. Okay. Ron Thomas said, what up, everybody? What's up, TC? Hey, Ramona Dye, shout out to you. Robert Leader, shout out to you as well. Chuck Thomas, Edward Swift, shout out to everybody that's tuned in right now to Bringing It Full Circle. Selena is bringing you the world news.
I'm done with world news, Andre.
Done with world news.
I am.
Well, guess what? There's always news going around the world. So even though she's done today, we will be back next week. And with that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And after the commercial break, we're going to come back with some Alabama news, folks. All right. You're watching Bringing It Full Circle with Selena and Andre.
Putting too much into it. Yeah. Let's get this fire started. Sports became my passion. Combo bring it to life, highlighting all the action. Opinions could explode like a chemical reaction. If we started from the bottom, now rise up the newest caption. Man, it's known that every team and every person got an nemesis. But this that similarity that smokes all of our differences. Statements can get real, better back it up with evidence. Prove it for the record, watch this hour of deliverance. Haters outside the lines, but we do it quite frankly. Cause I'm around the horn, so just part the interruption. Cause the hatred they be spreading is an unwanted production. Plus I gotta do it all, and it ain't up for discussion. Man, and blood, sweat, and tears, man, they measure up my...
Full circle, Selena, and some spice on the world news today. Thank you very much for that world news, for sure. I think it's Alabama time, right?
It is. It is on to you.
Alabama time. You see how happy I am? This is not how your normal news goes, folks. Make sure you like and share. All right. Make sure you watch Bringing It Full Circle as I bring it full circle with Alabama news right now. So first and foremost, obviously you see what it says right here. And this is very real. All lives can't matter until Black lives matter. In Alabama news, just recently, we seen some young gentlemen from the University of Alabama. They made a video, a very interesting video, on how they feel about social injustice and their stance on inequality as it pertains to what is going on in the world. So I'm going to play that clip for you guys, and I hope you'll enjoy it.
We are a team, black, white, brown.
Together, we are a family. We are brothers.
We represent ourselves,
our families, our hometowns,
our university,
and our country.
we stand on the shoulders of giants.
Our grandparents and parents.
Our ancestors, our heroes, Alabama alumni,
and former players who have changed the world.
Beginning on our historic campus, we speak as one,
Acknowledging our history.
honoring their legacy, and building a better, more just future.
On the field, we are relentless.
We are strong. We are conquerors.
But we are human beings first.
And in this moment in history, we can't be silent. We must speak up for our brothers and sisters, for our sons and daughters.
We speak for justice, for fairness,
for equality, for greater understanding. We stand together against racism,
against brutality,
against violence,
for a better world.
When we see our families, our neighbors, our classmates subjected to violence, we recognize the fear in their eyes.
And when we experience racism, it hurts.
In the game, we are one team.
One heartbeat, one mission.
Yet we are diverse.
We don't always agree, but we learn so much from each other.
And we are so much better together.
Until I listen with an open heart and mind, I can understand his experience and his pain.
The virus has shown us how much we benefit from being together.
and how much we need each other.
We believe the solutions to our challenges are within us.
We choose to listen.
We choose to hear.
And understand others' perspectives.
Let's listen.
Let's unite.
Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Until Black lives matter.
Until Black lives matter.
Until Black lives matter. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
It is about everyone as a whole. It is about being equal, being just. It is about what is right and what is going to help us be most positive and most effective as a human race for the future. It is important that we come together on these issues and that we come up with solutions to these issues so that we can be a better people, so our sons and daughters can be better people. Lena, I have a question for you. As you have the same mantra on your screen, when you think about Black agenda, what does that mean to you?
Black agenda?
Yes.
I feel what's come across to me for Black agenda has literally just been listen to us. Listen to us. And it's not that all lives don't matter. It's just listen to what's happening to us. And it's getting pulled back and forth between, races and whatnot. And for me, it's also been, especially today, what's been going on with me today. To me, it's been very, very personal because it's really hard to have just a regular conversation in a positive way right now sometimes. In my own community, it's really hard to have just a positive conversation, especially when there's the movement going on and you have me and you out here trying to be positive about it and trying to work together. And you have so many thousands of people like me and you, but then you have people who are in the movement who they say they're in the movement and they're protesting with us, but then they're not educating themselves either. They're tearing down the wrong statues. They're vandalizing things that shouldn't be vandalized. And there are some topics as far as rioting that I understand to get heard, but in the same token, you still need to be educated while you're out there protesting. And that's what's scaring a lot. That's what's making the movement hard to move forward with when people are getting scared. and they're starting to sound more and more and more racist. And that's something that's going on in my community right now. I believe it's hard to even defend the movement if you don't have the right people behind you to do it.
I agree. Totally agree. And totally understand what you're saying. TC Casey said it's never been about skin, it's been about only sin. It's not about skin, only sin. I agree with that. I love peaceful movement in the policy changes being proposed. We have police being charged and fired for the first time ever, said TC Casey. Definitely. Dalton Smith, what's up? Corey Davis, what's going on? Thank you for tuning in to Bringing It Full Circle. Real quick, before we go to our next commercial break, I just want to put out there right now that Alabama has 39,604 cases of COVID right now.
Oof.
39,604 cases of COVID-19 in the state of Alabama. Okay. So with that being said, I need you guys to be safe on this holiday weekend because I know that some people are going to want to go crazy. I need you guys to be safe. All right. We'll be back in just a moment. We're Bringing It Full Circle with Selena and Andre.
We gon' set this off so right. Keep that camera rolling all night. This is a movie, so play your position. Me and my girls out here on a mission. Got 'em looking dead on sight. Can't help but to stare ahead so tight. So bring them lights and keep them flashing. You know how it is, lights, camera, action. We gon' keep this party jumping. Gotta give it a little something just to keep them fellas looking. You know how it is. Got 'em hooked, I got 'em crazy on the music. You know how we do. Let's party all night. Oh, rock until the break of dawn. We gon' do this all night, all night. Oh, rock until the break of dawn. All night.
I'm going to start with some more Black Lives Matter in a more positive way today, right now, with Wisconsin news. Wisconsin Youth 65-mile march. Youth organizers started off a 65-mile march from Milwaukee to Madison in support of Black women and members of the Black LGBTQ community on Tuesday. About 25 people gathered outside of Milwaukee City Hall to hear organizers speak before marching to reach the governor's mansion by Saturday. The organizers were planned by Black women and Black gay people who feel their voices are often ignored. So organizers of the march want Governor Evers to condemn tear gas, saying that its use during the pandemic heightens the risk to the respiratory system. They want him to condemn the use of sponge rounds used by police officers after recent protests in Madison, and they're disappointed that he called in national security for the protests during the COVID-19 pandemic. Organizers of the march want to build on the march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama during the Civil Rights Movement in 1965. They explain that march made a difference, and that's what they want to do today. The march will take place on some of southern Wisconsin's hottest days this year, which we've been feeling for the last couple of days. It's really hot, but organizers say they have plenty of water and they will be sure to stay hydrated. Green Bay, a downtown business restaurant, says it's closing down indefinitely. Black and Tan Grill on Walnut Street made the announcement on the Facebook page Wednesday. The restaurant business has fallen on hard times due to COVID-19 pandemic. To prevent the spread of the virus, restaurants were ordered to close dining rooms for more than 2 months, limited to takeout orders. Since Wisconsin's safer at home order was lifted in May, some of restaurants have struggled to operate during the pandemic. Also, in related news to the pandemic, Public Health Madison and Dane County issued emergency order number 7 Wednesday to limit gatherings on business activities. The new order will go into effect starting 8 a.m. July 2nd, so that's today. While practicing social distancing, all indoor and outdoor gatherings are limited to a maximum of 10 to 25 people, respectively, excluding employees. Bars and restaurants can provide outdoor seating with physical distancing in place, while indoor capacity at restaurants will be reduced to 25%, whereas bars may provide takeout but can no longer provide indoor dining options. Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway said both individuals and businesses need to take responsibility in slowing down the spread within the community. She said, "We need individuals and businesses alike to take this public health threat seriously and know we are enforcing the rules." To our younger population, I want to remind you free testing is available at the Alliant Energy Center. Make a plan to get tested if you have been exposed. In unrelated news, in Bloomer, Wisconsin, after a day of fishing on Marshmiller Lake on Saturday, the Hurt family was headed back to a boat landing when they noticed something floating in the water. Brady Hurt, 23, thought it might be a rock until he saw it move. His father said it was probably a dog, but his mother, Tricia, realized it was definitely not either one of those things and quickly realized it was a young bear. The black bear was swimming across the lake on Sunday evening, struggling to breathe, with a plastic cheese ball container on it around its head, swimming with that around its head. Luckily for the bear, the Hurt family staged a successful rescue mission. After a couple of circles around the bear, Brady was able to pull the bucket off its head, and we are going to take a peek at that footage. I don't know what I'm doing here, Andre. This is why I'm not. This is why I am not in charge of screen sharing here.
That's all good. You got to learn. It's all good.
I'm gonna learn, you guys. I'm learning, and you're seeing my technical difficulties as I go along because I'm a brand new journalist and I don't have any background in this.
Listen, don't worry about it. Keep pushing. We're going to keep doing what we do. Practice makes perfect.
All right. So, Andre, what are your thoughts on the, where were we? The protesting, the march of going from Milwaukee to Madison?
I think protests are good. I think they're good when the time is right. All right. Some people just protest to protest sometimes or for clout or whatever the case may be. But then there's sometimes that it is a perfect time and opportunity to protest, in which I would tell you, if you're going to protest, keep it peaceful. All right. You catch more flies with honey than you do with sugar honey iced tea. Okay. Just food for thought.
And be safe, because as far as the timing goes, right now we're during a pandemic, and is that going to make cases rise up? You know, it's like we want to keep the movement going as long as it's peaceful and we're staying safe.
Absolutely.
All right. Now we are going to head on over to you, Andre, for New York news. Or unless you want to take comments.
All right. Well, first and foremost, let's get into some comments. TC Casey said, "I guess the heat doesn't kill it." 39,000 in Alabama. My county has up to 56 cases today, said Robert Leader. Corey Davis said, "My job was trying to reopen, but school district said no." Ramona, LOL.
She laughing at me.
Nah, you good. Ramona,
it's
by the
okay
way,
if you are.
Listen, Ramona is diehard MVP. I just got to put that out there right here on the newscast. We spread real news. That's real news for you. Shout out to Ramona Die. Love you to death. Western New York, what's up? Shout out to the Brian Estrada and Bobcat. Shout out to you. Been an article put out there just recently that say nursing homes aren't telling the truth about how many deaths have been in their facilities. I will save that for the next show. I promise you. I will have footage and give you more information on that as I get it. Now, with that being said, I have a whole lot of news in Buffalo, which is, I mean, sometimes maybe it's a bad thing, sometimes it's a good thing, whether it's positive or negative. I'll get to the negatives first, unfortunately. Man found killed in car on Delaware Avenue as July starts off with 3 shootings. On the first day of July, 3 men were shot in 3 different locations in the city of Buffalo. One victim, identified by the police as a 28-year-old man, was found shot inside of a car parked in the apartment building on Delaware Avenue in Elmwood Bidwell neighborhood. 2 other men were found wounded by gunfire. In those cases, men showed up at hospitals in civilian vehicles. Police are investigating a possible connection between the homicide and the non-fatal shootings, a police source said, as the Bloody Wednesday came to a spike in gun violence in June, during which 41 people were shot, 7 fatally, according to the Buffalo police in the month of June. We've already had 3 shootings, said the Buffalo Police Deputy Commissioner Joseph G. We are increasing our patrols, said Joseph G. We're setting up details in hot spots. We're asking the community for assistance. Okay. Speaking of community assistance, there was a video that was just posted not even about 2 hours ago from our legislator, April Baskins, stating that they want a community and regional residential program in which polices the police, in a nutshell. That's what I'm gonna tell you right now. So when I have that video, I will make sure that I put it out there on the next show, all right? As we are here to bring it full circle, and that's what we're gonna do, all right? Now, next on the agenda in Western New York, we have Mayor Byron Brown talking about unveiling parking tickets and water service amnesty programs for city residents. Mayor Brown rolled out a new series of measures Monday afternoon as he claimed that they're aimed to better protect the Black and poor residents in the communities. The first measure on the docket was the parking ticket amnesty program. From July 1st to December 31st, 2020, the city of Buffalo will be waiving late fees for parking tickets that are more than a year. Parking tickets have potentially become a source of economic hardship when late fees become significant more than the original ticket, said Mayor Brown, as he's known this for the longest time. He said the city has more than 56,664 parking tickets that are more than a year old and continue to collect late fees. At a certain point, fees become larger than the ticket itself, and people decide not to pay at all. COVID-19 has highlighted how crucial water is, as we are now talking about the second measure, which is the water bill amnesty program, which will waive late fees and any interest on delinquent water bills for payment, water bill payments for city officials. COVID-19 obviously again has highlighted how critical water is, and it is not just essential to the daily quality of life and health, but it's also to keep the entire community safe, said Byron Brown. He says over the course of COVID-19, the crisis, the city has restored service to over 200 residents who had their services cut off. These residents and others will be eligible for the amnesty program, which will forgive interest penalties associated with the account balance, forgive the meter fee, and forgive any charges related to the first meter if applicable. Require a down payment of only 10% of the remaining principal balance. Also, require the homeowner to sign up for a 12-month plan to repay the past due amount. allow the installation of advanced reading technology, meter, and enroll in automatic monthly billing so residents can continue to make timely payments and remain current on their bills. Finally, Mayor Brown announced the Buffalo Motorist Assistance Program, which is called BMAP, which will allow residents who plead guilty to moving violations a way to provide their income and put on a sliding scale payment plan for those tickets. This will also allow the courts to impede a fine if they're both payable and deterrent to that kind of driving behavior. That was a lot, folks. I know, right? Moving right along as I get into the next topic. So obviously, some things are being done into place because people are tired of the same old things in Western New York. All right. This topic is very interesting as it just came in today, earlier this morning. No fans allowed. New York State issues guidelines for reopening pro sports. I tell you, if the season started today, fans would be banned from assembling outside of the venue and security would be put in place for anyone who was gathered around. That means no fans in the stadium, and that also means no fans around the stadium. So there will be no fans allowed inside, and there will be no tailgating for those who like to jump off of vehicles onto tables and do WWE like X game type stuff. You will not be allowed to be around the outside venue. Mark Policart said this earlier today. New York has issued its long-awaited guidance for professional sports competitions. At this time, professional sports may resume games, but with no live audience, fans, or spectators will be authorized to attend at the time of publication. If you want to go see what he said, you can go to governor.ny.gov/site/Governor Mark Policart / I think it's time for something more interesting than a whole lot of rigmarole and drama in news. We have a lovely guest for Citizens Voice. Dorothea Franklin, what's up? Come on to the show, Dorothea. Dorothea Franklin, what's up? Let's get her in here.
We want to.
Right.
Also, don't forget to email us some helpful and open-minded, positive educational suggestions at bringingitfullcircle@gmail.com. While we're waiting for Dorothea, how many of you have reversed the narrative, our viewers, last night or today? What songs have you been listening to of different cultures to change your idea of different cultures and bring something positive to that? I really, really want to hear some positive. I love music, so I really want to hear some positive feedback on that. Furthermore, you can email us for Rise Up so that we can highlight our communities and people who are making positive changes. I want to give a shout out to Dominque Calhoun again. She's doing some amazing things for Buffalo, New York, where especially with the schools and the children not having what they need to play sports there.
Absolutely. By the way, there will definitely be a conversation coming up real soon in which, and I'm going to push it. I'm going to continue to keep pushing it. Dominque Calhoun is pushing it definitely in a big way. Dorothea Franklin, our guest for Citizens Voice, is pushing it in a major way, where coaches and advocates come together and have a real conversation on making a difference for these youth in the community. Dorothea Franklin, hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You have the face of serious business, young lady. I know there's a lot you want to talk about on Citizens Voice here. By the way, if you want to get involved in Citizens Voice, it's BIF Circle at Twitter or hit us on Facebook. So, Dorothea, I have a couple questions to ask you. Can you please give us the concerns that you want to talk about on the show? And I mean, give them to us. We want them. We want your concerns.
All right. The main thing that we are concerned about as a community in Buffalo is getting Mayor Brown out of office. That's first and foremost. He's horrible. 15 years of everything up under the sun. He wants to gentrify the Black community. He did checkpoints on us. He did this just for us balancing budgets on our backs. And it's just despicable. You know, he's a Black man, and he has locked a whole community down to suffer. And at this point, it's just time to go. We are fed up. We're tired. We're sick of his mess. You know, he's a puppet when it comes to our concerns. It takes him so long to act, and nobody should have to tell him what the issues are, because when we do tell him what the issues are, they label us as complainers. How do you label people as complainers? And these are the people that you're coming to asking for votes. You know, and right about now is just time to let him go and get someone new that has our agenda in mind. Because I think the biggest issue is they forget that they don't run us. We run them because we put them there. And if your agenda is not our Black agenda, you don't need to be there. And if you don't understand what the Black agenda is, which we know he doesn't, because he has used every tool in the book to gentrify us, you need to go. So that's just one of the issues that is going on here. And then you also know there's the riots, there's the protests, you know, these type of things. People are restless and they're tired, and they want their voices to be heard, and they have demands. I mean, and we have protested. We went in front of headquarters. We went to the houses. We went to the mayor house, common council house. And it's not going to stop. You know, we're not going to stop until we get everything that we want. And he's still picking and choosing who he wants to talk to when it comes to what the community wants and the community needs. I mean, and if by any chance he thinks dealing with certain organizations like Free Western New York is going to be the voice of the community, he's wrong. Because we're actually the community. We went to our neighbors. We went to the bus stops. We went to people and asked them, what is it that you truly want? And this is what this mayor should be doing. He should be holding a town hall with the community, asking the community, what are their demands? What do you want to see me do as a government official? Because I work for you. You don't work for me. But he doesn't have that mentality, because Mayor Brown has had a lockdown on this city for 15 years. I mean, he forced just about everybody in City Hall to vote for him. He promised people jobs, and they feel like they have to be loyal because, you know, at the end of the day, they can see who voted for them through the Board of Elections. So this is a full circle full of bull, and it's time for it to stop.
Selena, you have any questions you want to ask Dorothea Franklin, as she is definitely bringing a citizen's voice to bringing it full circle?
I have so many questions because I don't even know really where to start with my questions. First of all, you're right, exactly right about your local electives. You know, I think it's extremely important to know who are you voting for in your local elections. And I guess that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm still just beginning here. So I'm going to let you ask her some questions so I can learn off what you guys are saying.
Okay. Well, question number one, Dorothea, is how do we change that narrative? We talked about changing the narrative.
Okay.
Let's talk solutions. How do we change the narrative in getting someone else who is going to represent the needs of the community instead of the needs of the people that are on the Common Council board?
Well, one, we need to continue to push the issue, and enough community people are fed up. So they have created a petition for him to resign. And actually, Carol Horn, she actually wrote his resignation. So we need to get that out. News stations, different places, newspapers, whatever. They also did a video on YouTube telling the mayor that they want him to resign. Next place is going to the governor. The governor can actually get him out of office, and we can hold a special election. So those are the steps that need to be taken in order to get this mayor removed. And I do think we have enough voices. It's over 3,000 signatures so far on the petition. We're going to continue to push that petition, and we're going to make sure that we send it to everybody that can do something about it. We also need our common councils removed. So that's a whole nother bucket of mess, is our common council members. They themselves do not hear what we are saying. And, you know, when you have a listening problem, it's time for you to go. You need to go seek help elsewhere, because we don't have time for it. We need people to act. We need people to move. We need people to protect. We need people to uphold the positions that we put them in. And once they start to fail to do that, and they create their own agendas, we have no use for you. So if we do get the mayor, the other thing that will happen is Darius Pridgeon, because he's the council president, he will become the mayor. Well, we're going to have to get rid of that too. So I don't care how far it will have to trickle down, but everybody that is not with the people and the people's agenda, our Black agenda, you have to go. It's time to exit stage left.
Okay, make sure you send us that petition so that we can put it, so that we can post it, and that we can get that out there for citizens as well to sign.
Sure will. I will make sure that it's sent. I will do that.
Dorothea, there is one more thing that I want to cover on Citizens Voice before we end the show. I know we've went over time, but guess what? The best news media source right here, bringing it full circle, has a whole lot of news and a whole lot of truth to give the people. So vibe with us. Make sure that you support us every week. All right, every single week, as we bring it full circle. Maybe the show will get extended. Maybe we'll get an hour-long news show. But there is one. Go ahead, Dorothea.
You know that I support Black media, because Black media is one of the things that we're pushing in our Black agenda. So, of course I will support, because we need this. We need people. We need our voices to be heard and represented by people that look like us. Just for the simple fact that, you know, we have Channel 2 News that's very discriminatory. We don't need that type of stuff. We need truth, and we need trusted truth tellers. So, of course, I'll support.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm going to show you a video, and I want you to tell me how you feel about this video. It is real quick. It's about 5 minutes long. I won't play the whole thing, but I need to know how you feel on Citizens Voice right here, how you feel about this video as it pertains to our community.
I am Erie County Legislator. We have entered a new chapter in relations between police officers and local residents. We can all agree that people who are accused of violating the law should be detained and tried before a jury of their peers. And we know that our local police officers put their lives on the line every day for our protection. However, recent incidents between police officers and local residents have raised concerns for civilians who have to interact with Buffalo police officers. Residents don't know if a routine stop will escalate out of control. And nationally, too many citizens are denied due process by officers who take it upon themselves to inflict punishment. We have undeniable footage of this happening in our own city. The video of Quentin Suttles being punched in the head by a Buffalo police officer is the fourth example of excessive use of force that we have witnessed this month. In the case of Mr. Suttles' video footage, it shows that he was on the ground, being restrained, and was not in possession of a weapon. So why did a police officer feel the need to assault him? We have all seen the recording of Martin Gugino being shoved, but we should not forget the female protester who was shoved by police officers the day before, or Miles Carter, who was tackled by officers during an interview with local media. And day before yesterday, we witnessed a Buffalo police lieutenant approach a female bystander and proceeded to verbally and physically intimidate her for recording an interaction between a resident and police officers. This is no longer acceptable. And even though I am a county elected official with no jurisdiction over the city of Buffalo or the Buffalo Police Department, I am still a resident of Buffalo. I am a mother, I'm a person of color, and I cannot remain silent. These incidents demonstrate how absolutely essential police body cameras are. And we should not have to rely on the footage from a bystander's mobile phone to help us determine whether or not an officer has acted out of line or is not telling the truth in their police report about an incident. As an Erie County legislator, I have made criminal justice reform the centerpiece of my legislative agenda. Working with my colleagues in the Erie County legislature, we established by local law the Erie County Corrections Specialist Advisory Board as a permanent oversight body for the Sheriff's Division of Jail Management. And we pressed for the establishment of a body camera program for Erie County sheriffs and to be in our county jails. Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown and the Buffalo Common Council should be commended for their first steps at police reform. And we should support Council Member Rashid Wyatt and the Buffalo Police Advisory Board for calling for an independent civilian review board for when police misconduct occurs with local residents. But I believe we can go further. We need substantial regional change to our police complaint structure. Currently, investigations of police misconduct are left almost entirely to the discretion of the Buffalo Police Department's Internal Affairs Division. There, less than 10% of the complaints actually result in criminal charges. We need to work with our state representatives, our county representatives, our city representatives, all local leaders to remove the restrictions in place to allow for a true civilian oversight board with full investigatory and disciplinary powers. And should any municipality in the state of New York be unable or unwilling to create an effective civilian oversight board, I propose the creation of a regional commission to investigate the complaints of police misconduct. The commission could consist of representatives from the New York State Attorney General's office, county district attorneys, and internal affairs officers from local police departments, as well as civilians who have experience in investigations. We have to stop blaming these situations on a few bad apples in law enforcement. These officers are the product of a system that instills in us versus them mentality between police officers and our public. This system relies on a code of silence that stifles dissenting voices. The current model of policing is a tree with long, deep, problematic roots, and we cannot just pick off the bad apples. We must grow new trees. Join me, Erie County Legislator April Basket, and my call on local leaders throughout the state of New York to implement a commission that will hold police officers, law enforcement officers of all kinds accountable when there is misconduct on behalf of our local residents.
Dorothea, your thoughts.
You must want me to do a segment on what grinds my gears about Miss April Basket, huh? Let me start with this. First of all, any commission that is put forth should be of the people, not of citizens that has a requirement of having some kind of investigative knowledge or background. That's bull. That doesn't work for us. We're citizens, flawed and all. Some may not be, but we're people and we know what's going on in our community. And, you know, for her to come on and start talking about what needs to happen in Buffalo because she's a resident and has no jurisdiction baffles me, because you are a Erie County legislator and your own backyard is not clean. Your Erie County Holding Center is a mess. Your Erie County DA is a mess. Erie County DA will not prosecute the police officers that whooped on Quentin Suttles, but he wants to prosecute Quentin Suttles for whatever other things that he may or may not have done. That's another piece of bull. Then you want to talk about, let's go back to the Erie County Holding Center. You have Sheriff Howard with tons of deaths. Let's talk about India Cummings, who had a mental health issue that died in their custody because they have not the inkling, the knowledge of when someone is having a breakdown. Instead, our system puts people with mental health issues in jail instead of giving them the help that they need. This woman suffered the whole time she was there. And how dare you come on here and talk about what Buffalo needs, what Buffalo PD needs to do. Handle your stuff at the Erie County level, because apparently you're not doing a sufficient enough job at that. So I'm going to leave it like this. If there is going to be an advisory board, it's going to be full of citizens on every level. We do not need a regional with any government in there, because the government is not working for the people. The people works for the people. Government tries to do whatever it is that they want to do and handle people the way they want to. Enough is enough with that. At the end, in the beginning, and the middle of the day, we are tired and we're sick of the dog and pony shows. And it's time for us to stand up and let these people know, let the government officials that we put in these seats know, your time is up. We're not doing this anymore. We're going to replace you with people that are going to be representatives with our agenda. So April, even though you may have been trying to be sincere, we say no thank you and we rebuke it.
Well, what have we learned here, Selena? We've learned a whole lot today on Citizens.
Well, I'm learning a lot about the officials. You know, this is really going into the rabbit hole for me because I live in a mostly white predominant community, and I'm learning a lot. You know, I'm sitting here watching what was her name? April
Baskins, yeah.
I'm watching her and I'm like, okay, yeah, I get that. And then I listen to you and I'm like, oh, because I don't know what's going on in New York, you know, like in Buffalo. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on here in Wisconsin. And so I'm like, okay, so even though we have the legislators are African American, they're not doing what they need to be doing for the citizens.
That is another woo.
That's a whole other topic.
That's whole nother topic. By the way, tomorrow on the Love Show, we will get into this deep. We will get deep into this tomorrow on the Love Show, where we let our voices empower.
Did I not take from that what I was supposed to?
Oh no, you did.
Oh, no,
okay,
you got it. Because they are supposed to represent us. They are people. They are African American people, and they are not doing their jobs.
Right.
They are more concerned with their political cronies than what they are with their constituents.
Okay.
And there you have it. Dorothea Franklin, I want to thank you so very much for coming on Citizens Voice. I think you've dropped a lot of knowledge on everyone, a lot of jewels on everyone.
Yeah.
That they needed to have. If this was the Love Show, I'd be doing a certain snapping of the fingers, but nevertheless, bringing it full circle news. We're gonna continue to keep giving you the best news. Period. Point blank. Selena, Andre, and everybody who's involved. We want to thank you very much. The whole entire community, Dorothea Franklin, and everyone who supports. We want to thank you so much. And until next time. See, this is where I get sad. Until next time, we will see you next week, Wednesday.
Thank you.
Happy 4th of July. Yes, happy 4th of July. Stay safe. Please be safe. All right.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, thank you again. All right. We will see you next week.